Whereas at GE, they also looked at what was working to build on what was working and not really worry too much about what wasn't. Kind of deal with that, but really the focus was on what was working. And then after going through that cycle of evaluating and measuring it, change it, make it even better. That's a compressed time frame. Calendar is one of the most underutilized tools that we have in schools. A place like GE, a place like other places like businesses, focus on that calendar because they have shareholders to answer to, they have quarterly expectations to meet, as well as annual results to meet as well. So the calendar is something that we lived by, whereas in schools, where I think we're kind of soft on that. We're not so driven by that because we're looking at a 3 to 5 year plan. And before you know it, 3 to 5 years passes quickly. The risk that's inherent in moving quickly is that we'll make mistakes. It will be an imperfect situation. It will be imperfect answers. There will be mistakes. And there's a chance we're going to look silly and foolish. And in schools, we try to avoid that, I think. And I think I would argue that we really need to be more willing to take some risks and to take some changes.
Yes, I want to be.
Are we what?
I want to explain to you the best thing that I ever learned from my old boss was, I don't care, go, make mistakes, do whatever, we'll fix it, whatever it costs. It may cost $1 million to fix. Who cares? At least you're making a decision because nobody in the room ever wants to make a decision. If you're the one that wants to make a decision, you're the one that takes lead, you're the one that takes charge, and you make it happen. Never made a mistake after that.
And Ricky works in a private business. Imagine in a school. At a school, how would that work? Well, yeah, there's the financial side. First of all, that's a lot of zeros. Yeah. So take the money aside. Take the money aside. What about just the political environment?
There's too many cooks in the
Who gets put in charge of who has...
Then you form 6 or 7 committees.
Mm-hmm.
How do the kids suffer?
Kids suffer, committee where it's a lot of bureaucracy involved. Yeah. So in schools, this is what I think we really need to be more risk-taking and be willing to try these actions and move faster. The faster we move, the more mistakes will occur along the way. But in the long term, we end up making far more progress than going at a snail's pace. Could I hear? Yeah. Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
What if, like, let's say 3 months in, you see that it's not making any progress? Do you stick with it? Do you keep going? Or is it just to say, no, this is something we just need to go on to the next?
In schools, you mean?
Yes.
Schools.
Like if you see that it's not showing any results.
Well, part of the problem is the way we judge results is on student achievement,
Which
is annual.
that's why I think that 3 to 5 years comes into play.
Yeah. So we really need to get some good tools, like maybe the MAP testing. I don't know, how many of you use MAP?
For aims.
Or Ames Web, right?
You got to look at what is, why do you say it's not working? Look at each situation is going to have to be different. Some things are going to be short-term goals that you're going to see immediate results. But just because you don't, something you may be doing, you might start seeing the results in 3 to 5 years.
Right.
It
Or
may
they
take
may
time.
see the
So
results.
how are you
in 3 to 5
evaluating?
years.
It's
From
how
what
you
you
evaluate.
So much more long-term.
Right.
And part of that is
It's
implicit.
never black or white. No situation is ever black or white. That is the one thing that nobody understands.
Yeah.
There's not one situation solved there.
And something that's implicit in that is that there's a risk. And there's a risk of failure. And in schools, we don't like that. We don't like that. We avoid that. Talk about risk avoidance. We're all about that in schools. Let's take a look. We're going to do another game of showing how when we move faster, put a little urgency in there, that we can get some good results. So could I get 5 volunteers? Anyone? Doesn't have to be a teacher. 5. Who wants to do the inventive? You want to do the invented story? You want to do the invented story with them?
This better not be a bad one to be volunteering
I need 5.
This better not be a bad one to volunteer for. I'm not
No, it's a
No.
great one. It's a great one. They're all great. And Judy is the kindest person. She won't make anyone feel sick. Okay, that's not 5 anymore. Still, that's still not 5.
Ladies,
And 2.
one of you two, let's go.
Yeah, you guys haven't been up here.
Come on.
Aaron, you did such a good job leading.
Need 2 more. 2 more. It's really fun. It's really fun. One more. Okay, Carrie's coming up. We need 1 more.
Promise we have to move again, I'll do the movement.
Okay, they're all yours. Come on up, Vicki. Come on.
Okay, so together, I'm going to form a back line here. I'll squat down in front of you. So together, you are going to tell a story. But here's the thing, you're going to tell the story 1 word at a time. So pressure's off a little bit, right? We would like it to be. We would like it. That's a great question. We would like it to make sense. That's the fun part of it. So you don't have to be like monkey, cheese, tree. We would love it if it,
You know, we're gonna
grammatically
test
made
that whole
sense.
education system we've all.
Yeah. So audience, can we get a made-up story title for this group, like Sally's birthday or something like that?
Mom's 50th anniversary.
Mom's 50th anniversary. Great. And just take us through that 50th anniversary. Mom was
Reading. A.
magazine from Dad.
That.
I have no idea what you said.
Dad.
Dad.
Dad. That. He.
Gave to her
As. A.
anniversary present. It
Was.
Such.
a wonderful magazine.
I get to start a new sentence. Hippopotamus.
Was.
Huge. And it
Was.
The.
ugliest. This
Planet.
Has.
ever seen. Good.
When you're handed one of those weird words that you don't know what to follow with, that's called a gift in improv. Thank you all. So we've gone through we're working our way through the fuel for learning. The F is the focus, U, urgency. And you can see the more pressure that you put on people, mistakes might happen, weird things will happen. Again, we call those gifts. Those are all gifts. So let's take a look at the 2 E's in the fuel. That's energy and enthusiasm. Can we have the actors up here again, please? In schools, it's really tough work. It's tough maintaining that energy and enthusiasm. You know what it's like? A triangle. I've lost my train of thought. I'm old. Don't do that. Thank you. School year. You start off in August. Everyone's excited. It's like Christmas. It's even better than Christmas. Everyone's so excited. Then October rolls around. I think there's excitement, but we just want the kids to be gone with trick-or-treating, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then so there are different emotional times. There's an emotional cycle throughout the year in the school year. It's tough. It's tough. So let's have what's one high point emotionally, an emotional high point during the school year? Christmas time. Christmas vacation or just Christmas?
The week before Christmas.
The week before Christmas. Turn right. What's kind of a challenging time in the school year? State testing. Turn right. And any other emotional time during the school? Would you prom? Prom.
Prom.
All right.
Christmas, the week before.
State testing.
Turn right.
I hate chaperoning. I never went to my prom.
You too?
You didn't go either?
No, nobody ever asked me.
I'm really sorry.
So this just, it's like a flashback.
Well, we never did.
Yeah, a flashback of what I imagined it to be like. A flashback of
What did you do that night?
I sat at home and ate pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you do?
My mom had made me a dress. She's a seamstress. And she had made me a dress to wear to prom, should anyone ask me.
Turn right.
I'm so excited. I'm going to have the world record paper chain going on.
Oh, you bet your ass you will. My kids are cutting strips like nobody's business.
I mean, it's just like a sweatshop in there. You know what I mean? It's just like Santa's little elves are working overtime, and I am all about it.
Turn right.
It's so warm all of a sudden.
Oh.
I mean,
Yes?
this is Chicago, and it's just so hot. I don't know how to fill in a circle. Just like,
It's like I'm sweating, you're dripping with sweat, I'm dripping with sweat.
just boiling out of me, this anxiety.
Turn left. Left.
I will not stop separating cotton balls until every hallway is covered with Santa's beard.
It's the longest beard / chain ever, and it's just gonna cover the earth with Christmas spirit.
His hat starts in the west wing, and this will cover the entire span of the gym.
Turn right.
You know, it's like when I'm trying to like fill in a bubble,
Yeah.
I just am so, I have the strength of like 1,000 men, because I am breaking pencil leads left and right out there, and there's timers. Oh.
And it's like I know this stuff, I do, but as soon as we sit down and it becomes all serious, I don't know anything. Sometimes I just fill in all the bubbles.
Turn left. 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 Whatever.
It's a crisis.
What?
There's no more paper.
What?
There's no more paper.
Cut down the front tree. We will make a paper chain.
We will make a paper train, and we will follow that train to freedom. It will be a paper train of freedom and hope and spirit.
Turn left.
And cried. And I just cried.
And so did I because my pillow wouldn't kiss me back.
Yeah. I'm sorry. But, I mean, this is why we're here now.
Right.
To relive all of our sufferings.
It's not about
Hey, did you, be my date?
Turn left.
Yes, I'm just randomly guessing. I'm making a picture.
Me too. I was drawing an H.
Where I was drawing an A.
Turn right. Right. And scene. Typical school situations, right? We have these emotional times throughout the school year. And throughout the school year, every person, every staff member has to answer a simple question. It's not simple for me to say it, but everyone has to answer a simple question. Do you suck the life out of the organization, or do you breathe life into it? How, in that energy mix in the school among your faculties and staffs, what role does everybody play? Because we all know the ones who suck the life out of the building. Does anyone not have in mind somebody who sucks the life out of your school?
Yes.
That would be you then.
I call them hijackers.
What do you call them?
I have 3 prisoners, pilots, prisoners, and hijackers. I call
Hijackers, what was that?
them pilots,
Pilots,
prisoners,
prison.
and hijackers. I call them
Pilots,
hijackers.
prisoners, and hijackers. Do the hijackers become prisoners, or do they?
Prisoners become hijackers.
The prisoners become. We have names for them at school. Does anyone not know who they are in your schools? We all know who they are. We know who the ones who suck the life right out of the building. The moment they walk in, you hear this, like Ross Perot said, the great sucking sound. You know what? They're the ones who just suck it right out of the school. Obviously, it's no one here. Between the two, I mean, I draw the distinction between energy and enthusiasm because schools need both to really keep the momentum moving forward. Energy I define as kind of the pace, the excitement, the fun that's in the building. The enthusiasm is that passion, that commitment, that dedication that you bring every single day. And it's hard because in schools we go through these cycles. Everyone starts off first day of school. For me, the first day of school is better than Christmas. I mean, in terms of excitement, it doesn't get any better than the first day of school. But then the year goes along. By Halloween, we're starting to drag a little. It's starting to slow down. It's getting harder. The days are getting shorter. It's getting colder out. It's getting a little harder to drag ourselves to work. By November, December, we're just hanging on for Christmas break. You get past that, you're hanging on for state testing, for the ISATs. We're working our way through the year. Now, there's hope. Spring break. Spring break is near. That carries us through there. And then once we get past that, piece of cake. End of the school year is almost there. So we go through these highs and lows during the year, and it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. It's like a thermostat that we can set. These energy levels and enthusiasm levels, it is like a thermostat that we control. We can set those, and we can either raise them or lower them. Because there's just a few, not too many here, everyone stand up. And the key here is going to be do it at a comfortable pace without killing yourselves or tripping over the equipment or the chairs or tables, but on a scale of 1 through 10, with 1 being exceedingly slow and 10 being really fast, move around in your space, in this lower level here, at a pace of 2. Just kind of move around at a pace of 2. And don't say anything to anyone, just move and focus on what it feels like. Focus on what you're feeling, what your stomach feels like, what your head feels like. Oh, thank you. Now kick it up to a 4 without falling over. And now notice any changes in your stomach, how your stomach feels, how your breathing feels. And now this may be tricky, but kick it up to an 8. Again, noticing your breathing, how your stomach feels, how your arms feel. And now back to a 2. And now find your way back to your seat. We control these energy levels in schools. They don't just happen to us, but we actually do control them. And there are physical changes, and you probably felt some of those physical changes. You could hear them because people were laughing or as they were running into each other maybe. But there are physical changes that come with the energy level, and we control that. We can manipulate that. At GE, that was something that we found ways to do to maintain that energy level and that enthusiasm. In our case, really fundamentally what we were doing at GE Security was selling boxes of video cameras and boxes of access control. We were selling stuff. But the way that we maintained that enthusiasm, that passion, and that energy was that we didn't see it as selling stuff and boxes. What we were doing, we were keeping the world safe. We were keeping schools safe. The bigger vision for GE Security was they were keeping the world safe. And that's, that's a big responsibility when you're keeping the world safe or a school safe. But that's what brought that commitment and that passion and that energy throughout the year, and then maintain that. So everyone has to ask the question, and everyone has to answer the question for themselves. What do we each do individually to raise or lower the energy and enthusiasm levels, that passion in our jobs, in our schools? What do we do? Bless you. Because we all have that responsibility of maintaining that energy. That energy level is dependent on us. And everything that we do, whether you're a principal, whether you're a teacher, we drive that. We drive that and we control it. It doesn't just happen to us. Because of the time, I'm moving through this. The final L in the final letter in fuel is the L, which is learning. In schools, a lot of times we focus on the mistakes, the things that haven't worked. At GE, that was sort of flipped. We really focused on what was working and expanded on the successes, on what was working. And we talked about what wasn't as well, but really we focused primarily on what was working and build on those successes. Could I have a line of dialogue that you might have had from your principal in your evaluation meeting? Anything that you might have heard from your principal? A comment that was made? Or that you would make of your principal if you were evaluating the principal? That might be easier. What? What? You said something. If you were evaluating your principal, what would you say?
No, the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to need to take on more responsibility.
You need to take on more responsibility. You need to take on more responsibility.
So, Mrs. Stevenson, we just, we know you're teaching.
That's what I
English
do.
101.
Teacher.
We would really like you to maybe take on the pom-pom squad because they are short of a coach, and we think you'd be perfect for it.
Well, that is flattering. Thank you. Am I going to get paid extra for this?
No, it's more of a volunteer situation, but it's for the kids. I mean, you'll get a payment in, self-actualization, which is the top of the
You want me to take on some cheerleaders?
Well, teach them and coach them and
Okay.
really just guide
Because
them.
I don't know the difference between cheerleaders and pom squads. Okay. So I don't know.
I'm assuming that,
So you want me to just handle a bunch of girls, is what you want me to do. You want me to be in the midst of all their high school drama, listening to all their boy problems, teaching them
Well, if you could-
dances at 6 in the morning before they even have to go to school.
ideally, yes. I mean, we'd love it if you could be in there and really give these girls a role model because, they are,
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean, they're attractive girls. You're an attractive woman. I feel like they look up to you. Yeah.
Okay, I
Not
got it.
that way, though. That's
Oh.
appropriate. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just don't, I do so much already. I'm teaching English, okay? We've asked me to do English as a second language, which is not at all like English. It's not at all like English. It says English in the title. I mean, I do those things, yes, but I don't know that I'm qualified to do this. And it's stressing me out because I'm responsible for their lives. You know? Their parents call me. The ESL students, I don't know what they're saying.
And scene. At GE, they approach the learning process very differently than I think we do in schools. It's immediate, it's ongoing. We have started evaluating before we even get the project off the ground in many ways, and it's changing immediately from the start, and we may throw it out. So if we're looking at schools and looking at changes that take 3 to 5 years, I mean, that's an eternity. So what I'm suggesting in schools is we've got to shorten that time frame and really speed things up and move things along faster. I've cut out a couple of activities because we do need to end this now. Before we wrap it up, though, I want to give each of the actors a little chance to plug their shows, because I think they're all in shows right now. Judy, tell us about what you're in.
I'm in a sketch comedy group called Gayco Productions, and tomorrow night at 10 p.m. at the playground we're doing a sketch comedy show. And yeah, we do sketch comedy throughout the year. If you've looked tomorrow night, you know, no pressure.
It's really funny. You just met me. Last week. It's hilarious.
Thank you.
It's really
Okay.
good.
That's me.
All right, Michael, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm Michael, and I'm in a sketch/improv group called Cake and Hatred. You can look us up on Facebook. We have a bunch of videos that we've done on there and stuff like that. But the current thing that I'm working on is a show that I directed is at the Annoyance Theater on Wednesday, and it's closing, so there is a sense of urgency. But yeah, it's part of what they call a triple feature, so it's 3 1-acts, and I directed one of them. It's $5, it's really easy, and it's at the Annoyance.
Okay. Nikki?
I am in a show that I produced called The Davenports, which is it's an improvised soap opera, and whether you hate or love soap operas, the show is super accessible to everyone. There are 14 people. Tomorrow we're taking the Davenports to Argentina. They're going on just a mini vacay, so it's a lot of fun. It's completely improvised. It's right after Judy's show at midnight at the playground. $5 BYOB. Lots of fun. You can find us on Facebook as well, the Davenports.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Just to wrap up then, to summarize, the fuel, focus, urgency, energy, and enthusiasm, and learning from both mistakes and successes. Thank you for being here, for being our guinea pigs on this initial effort of trying to bring comedy into professional development and not torture people in the process. There are 2 evaluation forms on the tables. One is the state board evaluation, which is straightforward. The second one is one that I would appreciate if you would fill out, because it gives me more insight into your reactions to this format, the timing, the logistics, and then also I've got the CPDU forms to give you before you leave. And if some of you would be willing to do a little short vignette, little videotaped interview saying something, you know, like, oh, this sucked, it was the worst thing I've ever done. You know, or you know, what a waste of my time. If you have something nice to say that we could use on our website and in some of the marketing, Steve will give you a little videotape. Just 30 seconds would be great. And otherwise, thank you very much for coming. It's been a blast. We've had fun. Thank you to the cast, actors. Go see their shows. These are the most talented people in Chicago. Absolutely the most. So, thank you for coming.